Alright. I needed someone to, I needed something to motivate me to make a video, so I thought I'd make a video, another one, on the migrants being sent to Martha's Vineyard. Just put out one more, and then I'll probably move on from it, but I wanted to make sure that this was the temperature. Like I say, sometimes I lurk on other places to kind of get an idea. I heard Vosh, of course, say that this is evil, and, oh my gosh, they're so cruel, they're assholes for allowing this and bringing these folks in. The Democrats do the same exact thing. Once again, Republicans and Democrats, there's no difference. There's no fundamental difference. The way Democrats do it is, it's done in the middle of the night. They are flown in, and they are, given, basically like RVs to live in, and say, okay, you get to work at this plant over here. You get to work at this Tyson plant over here, and you're going to be paying off your debts for about 10 years. No different than any other time. Like I said, this is the thing with prostitution, for women paying off debts and everything else. The game doesn't change, just the players. But these folks want to have a moral victory of it. The line has been set. The line has been set where Republicans are going to talk about abortion, and Democrats are going to talk about democracy and defending democracy. Oh, and of course, democracy is a farce, to say the least. Democracy, is mob rule, and everything else like that. I mean, maybe you'll have to apologize, because I'm going to become more and more of a boomer, folks. I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize for it. Occasionally, I'll try to say something to make myself sound young, but I'm 37, and I know I'm getting old. But anyway, the point is that, they're trying to paint them purely as victims, and, all the people came out to help at Martha's Vineyard. These people came out, and of course the narrative is that Republicans think that, it was, I think a lot of folks said it this way, is that it doesn't matter either way. The basic thing is that migrants know that they're going to be taken care of, whether it's Democrat or Republican. And I think that's a very true point, is that they're going to be flown all across the country. They're going to be flown to here and there, used as pawns, this and that, And it's very much the truth. And it's a sad state of affairs. It really is. It's a sad state of affairs. But it always has been. Migrants and people who come in, or immigrants who come to this country, and I know, immigrant, alien, it's all different things, I know, but have always been used as pawns. It's just until they become assimilated that they actually care about it. I think that's a very important thing. I mean, whether it's the Scots-Irish who were brought in, and all the, prejudice against that, primarily about the way they saw marriage and everything else like that, compared to, so-called WASP culture, or the Japanese. I'm going to be continuing to read this book by Gerald Horne, talking about that issue of Japanese being sent to, Texas and all this other stuff, and Japanese, taking our jobs and whatnot. But the thing is, this is the game that's always been played. This is nothing new, and I think that, of course, people are virtue signaling and saying, oh my gosh, it's so awful, and the people of Martha's Vineyard came out to defend these folks, and they came out and and help these folks and whatnot. But of course, the law was that they had to go to an immigration center and all that. And it goes to show, of course, is that people, you see how simple the world really is. And as much as people claim to be socialist, or as much as people claim to be whatever, is that it's all about broad strokes. And I think when you study about politics more and more, you broadly believe in one person or another, not because you think that they're going to achieve everything, but it's because they give you enough of what you want. It's why most mainstream lefties, quote unquote, will support the Dems. Not because they all completely support the Democratic Party, no. But they broadly give them what they want, of gay rights, and making sure that abortion rights are there, of course, reproductive rights. And that's what it is. Of course, it's all nonsense. It is. It's all nonsense. The I don't even know what else to say, to be honest with you. It's all just ridiculous, and we all just go around and round in these circles, thinking that somehow this party is going to be different than another, or this candidate is going to be different than another. And we see that it just isn't. It's why I don't believe in the idea of racial nationalism or whatever. It's just because these aren't realistic things. They aren't. It wasn't real in Nazi Germany. It's not real here. It's like there are plenty of slaves and whatnot who were, who kept the system going in Nazi Germany. And I guess that's part of the idea. But it's just like, it doesn't really exist. And it's just a LARP. And it's more of a threat than anything else, especially black nationalism. Black nationalism is just seen as a threat. Or, you better not, or else we're going to leave. Or, we're going to start our own thing. And of course, then, most of those folks end up getting into higher office. And that's the thing with Jackson, Mississippi. Sorry. That's the thing with that mayor, is that his dad was a big black nationalist and whatnot, and wanted to start kind of a colony, or whatever you want to call it. Not colony. We're not colonialists, excuse me. But start kind of their own little private LARP land where they can, have their little black nationalist system. And of course, when that failed, because of course, I can't even think of his name now. He's named after the famous African leader. Anyway, who cares? My mind is gone. But once that happened, he was a lawyer and was able to, escape it and be like, oh, I didn't know anything about that. And then became mayor of Jackson, Mississippi. And then, of course, his son, a bit of nepotism, ends up becoming one and says, we're going to become the most black city that there is and whatnot. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like I say, the racism is there, Just got to be careful about how you show it. But immigrants are always pawns. You think they aren't pawns in, Sweden? Of course they are. You think they aren't pawns in China? Absolutely. Big thing in Hong Kong was this for a long time, and I'm sure it's still the case to a point, was, regular Hong Kong Chinese, more Hakka people, or Cantonese, however way you want to say it. They're not going to be maids and whatnot, but a lot of the rich folks and whatnot, they've had Filipino maids and all this sort of thing. And it's something that, is definitely part of the culture of it, right? So, these factors are normal. And it's ridiculous to think that in any society, or any sort of ism or whatever else, that's going to go away. I don't say it's right. I'm not saying, oh, well, that's just the way it is, and I am saying, well, you know what, I back that up. It is the way it is, but it's just how people are. And I know that people are, I know somebody's going to go off on it, but it's just like, it's not going to change anything, And so, like I say, just to kind of bring it back around from my schizo ranting, is the narratives have been set down now. The rebar is down, and the concrete is curing. Is it asphalt? No. Asphalt's a different thing. But anyway, concrete is curing right now, and pretty soon, by the time the midterms come up, the narratives are going to be set, and this is what they're going to have. It's going to be basically defending democracy versus abortion rights, and maybe like some light MAGA. It's going to be MAGA light. Basically from Republicans. We have to save democracy. Save democracy from MAGA. And it's just ridiculous. I don't know. It is tiring, but at the end of the day, it's like, this is the world that I chose, right? I chose to be kind of on the periphery of politics. And so that's what you choose, and you go from there. But anywho, I think that's all I really have to say on it. I hope y'all have a good Sunday. If you can, go to church. If not, just, plenty of online services. Maybe play your church service in the background there on, what is it? I know, a couple ones on YouTube and whatnot. But anywho, I think that's all I really got to say. So hopefully y'all have a good rest of the day. See you later. Goodbye.